Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Script Note Show. I'm your host, Matt Tillman. It feels like it's been a bit of a hiatus since our last episode, but that's okay. It's been a good time to be able to recharge the batteries and kind of think of some new content ideas for the show. I have also added an article, it's a little bit older now, to the website that talks about the impact of coupons on retailers, and we all have heard the horror stories about how a lot of retailers are either going out of business due to the likes of Amazon or other online retailers, so make sure you check that out. But for today's episode, I wanted to talk about an article I came across recently that covers how to make sure that your iPhone or any smartphone doesn't become the boss of you. The article itself is quite lengthy in terms of reading time, but thankfully the author did break it up into different levels depending on how far you wanted to perhaps make those adjustments on your iPhone. While the article does cover more of the iPhone specifically, I believe in the comment section and subsequent updates he did add if things you can do to adjust if you happen to have like an Android phone or even for your desktop computer. The biggest thing that we run into a lot is getting just hammered with notifications. You go to update an app or install an app and it'll ask you if you want to turn on notifications for that app, and then next thing you know, you're getting constantly bombarded with notifications, and that can take a lot out of you in terms of both productivity as well as stress and anxiety levels. So I know for me, since I've even made that adjustment on a few apps that seemed like I was getting constant notifications from, I noticed for me, it's helped to decrease both the anxiety and stress levels quite a bit for those apps. And I found other adjustments to make on my phone as well that has helped to boost not only my productivity, but lessen the amount of time I spend on my phone as well. Smartphones have certainly become a great tool for us to use in all aspects of our lives. But what I just thought was, the main point that was great with this particular article is to not let it become the boss of you and to use it for its original intended use as a tool to help improve different aspects of our lives and not rule every aspect. I think Apple made a great stride with this with the last iOS update in terms of how much screen time that you're using and actually giving you visuals to keep track of that. So, perhaps take heed with that. Highly recommend you check the article out. And with that, Anchor recently released not a new feature, but an updated feature to their voice messages function. I don't know of a whole lot of podcasting apps that have this type of feature, but what voice messages is it allows listeners of a podcast to be able to record basically a 1-minute voice message to allow the podcaster to be able to use that on a future episode. But the main point being is it can also encourage engagement within a podcast as well. So to put that new feature to use, I wanted to encourage you to submit, your thoughts on this topic as far as how much time do you spend on your smartphone? What hacks or ways have you been able to reduce your amount of time that you spend on your phone? Or what are some of your favorite productivity apps? Sometimes the apps that come on our phones aren't always the best ones, and a lot of third-party apps can replace those features and even kind of do them one better in some instances. So would love to encourage you guys that are listening to use this voice message feature. You can find a link to it in the show notes. Anchor started automatically updating that to all the show note episodes. So if you're listening to previous episodes, I'd highly recommend maybe going back and checking those out. And certainly if you don't feel comfortable leaving a voice message, I definitely understand. And so you can always contact us via our email form. have a link to that in the show notes as well. So, just curious. I think this is a great topic that a lot of us could, perhaps help each other out. So, would encourage you to leave a voice message. And with that, would like to take a break to thank our sponsor. And welcome back. So to close out today's episode, one of the things I kind of wanted to try for future episodes is to take different business or finance or even perhaps other quotes that I find interesting, but, of course, with the main focus of this podcast being business and finance related items, as well as, different ways I think might help out the consumer or listener. But to get things rolling, one quote I found recently that's been attributed to Benjamin Franklin is to beware the little expenses, because a small leak can sink a great ship. So to repeat that again, beware the little expenses, a small leak can sink a great ship. I found that one interesting because one of the things that gets talked about in the personal finance world frequently is how when you're looking to cut back on costs within your budget, it really does go back to those little expenses. So, you set out on a grocery shopping trip, you have your list ready in hand, aiming to only maybe perhaps spend $50-$70, and the next thing you know, oh wait, I'm actually kind of hungry, so maybe I'll grab this along the way, or actually we could actually use this back at home, and the list goes on. So wanted to throw that out there, see what you all out there thought of that. So what are some ways you've been able to plug those little expenses or the leaks in the ship of your budget? So just some food for thought. As always, thank you for listening. We appreciate it. Our listenership continues to grow. We're at over 7,000 downloads, which is totally amazing. So thank you again to you all for your support out there. And if you like what you've been hearing, definitely feel free to spread the word. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. And then check out the sites, the podcast site as well at scriptnoteshow.com. That's scriptnoteshow.com, or the parent site, script-notes.com. And we'll talk to you again soon. Have a great rest of your week. See ya.